Hey everyone, welcome back to brand new Take Aim podcast, big deer and big stories. That's what we do. And excited this week to have Joe Umphries with me from BigTine official. And it's been a minute since Joe's been on, so super excited to have him back. We just talked, it's perfect time of year to get into this conversation, deer feed, deer management, what we can do to get deer through to spring, to antler growing season, keep them healthy, keep that body weight on. So super excited to have Joe here explain some of the products, the new products from BigTine for this year, and including BigTine Platinum and the brand new screen or shield called Borderline. It's an awesome product. So, again, thanks, Joe. And can't wait for you guys to see this product, hear this podcast. And like always, deer season never ends. We'll see you guys again next week. All right, boys and girls, we are live, brand new Take Aim podcast. Excited to be back, excited to get a new show out, and excited to catch up. It's been a while since I've caught up with this guy, but Joe Umphries, and from BigTine official, man. What's happening, Joe? Excited to talk with you.
Oh, just hanging out, dude. Just kind of weird not seeing you at ATA this year. That's normally when we get together, but, just kind of chilling out and relaxing after season.
Yeah, I know. That's such a bummer. I was thinking about some of the shows from the past couple of years and some of the, podcast shows, and I was like, man, we really had fun last year in the booth and doing that podcast, and I was like, man, it's just, those are like moments you remember, you know what I mean? And it's just a bummer not to be able to do that. So.
Yeah, we miss not being at ATA. We did make the decision we will be at Iowa and in Wisconsin. We're ready to get back out there and get talking to everybody. We'll be wearing our mask and doing what we have to do, but we're ready to hit the road again.
Yeah, that's super exciting. That's good news. That's good to get out to everybody. I don't know if you've officially announced that yet or not.
We're announcing it right now. We'll be at the Iowa Deer Classic and the Dells in Wisconsin.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited. I should be at Iowa Deer Classic, so we will definitely hook up. I think we'll need to catch up and maybe have a frosty mug with us or something.
Or 5, whatever it takes. We can do it.
Yeah, I'm down. So we will do that. So Iowa Deer Classic's always a good time. I don't know if for some of the listeners,
I've never been.
Put on it. Yeah, it's an awesome event, man. They put it on every year in March in Des Moines, Iowa, and if you've never been or even if you're out of state, man, it's worth the travel to get there. It's a great, great show. But, man, I don't know about you, Joe, but I'm just excited about it that they're actually having it. I'm pumped, to be honest.
Yeah, man, the hunting community, we're ready to get back out there. As a whole, we all never slowed down. Be smart about COVID and everything. But that's what we do anyway. We're outside. We're away from people anyhow. It's been a great year for all of us anyway, and we're all ready to get back to those shows and see what's new and talk to people and see how season went and everything. It's time to go. Yeah,
for sure. I can't wait. So I'll definitely be there. We'll look forward to hooking up with you. And, speaking on us being outside and all that good stuff, man, I saw, one of the awesome deer you ended up killing down in Texas. I believe you're hunting with Bonnie and Mike, but what awesome buck.
Yeah. Oh, stellar 8-point, man. Going down there with Mike and Bonnie, I typically go down, every January. Typically, it's like the week after ATA. And I just told Mike, I said, my only stipulation this year, dude, I want to get there before the 20th, just in case they shut the airlines down before Biden gets in. So I went in the weekend before, and just, the rut was kind of winding down, and it's just phenomenal. You just see so many deer, and you're glassing all the time. It actually, to me, being Indiana, I'm not used to seeing that many deer every time I go out. It almost makes it harder because you're having, you can't shoot a trophy. It's got to be an 8-pointer. You don't want to shoot a 3-year-old 8-pointer. You want to make sure he's mature. So you're just glassing deer nonstop and trying to find that right deer. It's tough. It's wild, and then you got to make a move on him. So it's pretty wild. It's definitely a different world down there.
Yeah, it is for sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, he was definitely well worth it. That's by far my best 8 that I've ever shot.
Dude,
he's a good one.
Ginormous.
Oh, the footage on him, it's pretty. it's pretty. I'd like to say he didn't go 20. He went 40. No complaints though.
No, none
no
whatsoever.
complaints.
But I would assume, Joe, and like maybe offhand, but I mean that was at least a 5 or 6-year-old 8-pointer, at least.
Yeah, I think he was definitely 5, probably a 6.
Yeah.
And
awesome
I'm still learning. I've been down to Texas a few times now. Watching Indiana bucks all the time. It is so hard to judge Texas deer. I mean, it's just the body structure is different. You're still looking for the sag in the back and the belly and all that, but it's just they're so much smaller body wise. It's tough to really gauge them.
Yeah. It is. Like, I'm friends with Bonnie and Mike, and, I had them on the podcast several times now, and I just love talking to them and just how different it is. Like, I'm in Michigan, you're in Indiana, and obviously, guys like us, we hunt a lot of Midwest, and just to get a feel of, like, their deer culture and their deer hunting, it's just so unique, and there's so much to learn. And
it is.
I love that we can have that in the same country, right here, and it's part of our deer hunting history. Like, it's so diverse and so unique. But, man, Texas is like one of those states that really it should get more credit than it does as far as deer hunting in my book, because it literally is the first state to kind of start deer management and start some of those things of, aging deer and upper-class deer. I mean, it's just unique. Texas is special.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been asked before if there was one state, if you had to give everything up and hunt one state for the rest of your life, hands down, it's Texas. Hands down. I mean, I've never even been to West Texas yet. I've just kind of stuck around South Texas and, Central, and I haven't even got to the west side yet. I mean, I still want to go after Aoudad. There's a lot that it still has to offer that's there that I've got a few more bucket lists there. There's a Neil guy out there with my name on it somewhere.
Yeah.
So there's a ton to offer.
Yeah, there is. It's such a cool state too, and that's really such a great deer, like an answer for deer hunting, because you can also kill mule deer there, like super unique,
Oh yeah.
So and the Aoudad's super special there too.
You get as an out-of-stater for a book of tags, it's $320. I mean, that's your turkey license, your however many deer. I mean, it's like 7 or 8 deer you can kill. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. Antelope,
why go anywhere
javelina,
else?
like a bunch of stuff on that tag.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, like a javelina was on my I've got to kill one list. And then I did it. I was like, well, yep, that's a javelina. Okay, I'm done with that one. They smell so bad. Won't shoot another one.
Yeah.
Will not touch them.
Funny. That's hilarious. Yeah. They do stink like a nasty coyote almost. Yeah. It's
just
unreal.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. So that hunt, Joe, like, what was your experience like that week? Did you guys have like kind of adequate weather for deer movement, or what were you up against?
It was, I think when I came down, it was like 70 degrees. So, pretty standard, but then the temperatures dropped for a little bit. So like low 30s a couple of mornings, which was really cool because normally it's always just straight warm down there when I'm there. So it was nice to see the temperature drop. Of course, Mike and Bonnie are wearing like 18 layers because it's 30. I'm like, yeah, this isn't bad at all, guys. This is pretty nice. But no, good weather. They'd had a lot of rain the week before, so there were some wet spots. But all in all, just perfect weather to be out there and perfect timing.
Yeah, for them that is absolutely freezing, and I would assume that probably created a lot of. You mentioned earlier you saw a ton of deer, but I bet you those 30-degree mornings it caused a lot of really good deer movement.
makes a lot of movement for deer and hogs as well. And we did our fair share on the pigs too. That always feels good. And a couple coyotes had to go. So no.
So that was a good trip.
No love lost there. It was a good trip. It was a very good trip.
Now, one thing I just want to hit on real quick. You talked about like just glassing so much. Like people are like, oh well, big deal. You glass till you shoot one, but it's not that way. As you know, Joe, you're looking for that age structure, and then when you finally get one, just because you glass it doesn't mean you can shoot it.
Exactly. There's a lot of rules in place. Depending on the ranch that you're on, that management is everything for them down there. And, if it's got a little 1-inch kicker somewhere that you don't see and you think is just an 8, you just shot a trophy, and that's a big no-no. And you're probably going to pay a whole bunch of money for it. So you got to make really sure that it's an 8-point before you pull that trigger.
You got to be really clear on those decisions.
Yeah, you better make sure you're good with what you're shooting. And I'm a management killer anyway. I am very, very good at killing 8 points to make trophies for Mike and Bonnie. I am okay with that all the time. So fill the walls with 8s. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it too. I think there's something, especially like that deer you killed, that caliber, there's something really cool and really unique. Yeah, about that frame.
He just had that cool, that cool up and out frame. I love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind.
Cool.
I'm with you there, getting that invite to help them with the management plan.
I'll put a phone call in for next year. We'll do a podcast.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I had. Obviously, Bonnie and Mike had a really good season. So, right off the bat when they killed some deer, I had them on back to back. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, by the end of October, I was calling Bonnie going, y'all going to leave anything for me by the time I get there in January? Because, it was just 2 years in a row now. Stellar seasons for them.
Oh, man.
Impressive. So they're definitely producing.
Yeah, for sure. Especially this year. I was like, you guys are going to be done hunting by, November 1st, Yeah.
I like to think it has something to do with the feed that they're using.
Right.
Maybe there's something to that. I don't know.
Maybe there's something in there. Well, let's get into that a little, Joe. I know Bonnie and Mike run that stuff all year, but it's a perfect segue. But as obviously I think everybody knows, BigTine does a lot of deer feed and a bunch of special products in that kind of genre right there. But Joe, I know there's a couple new products out, but let's talk about let's finish with Bonnie and Mike and what they do all year and what you kind of help them with.
So for, the go-to for Mike and Bonnie would be our fortified deer blend, which is the 40-pound bag. When I'm there anyway. That's more the attractability. You still have the mineral in there for nutrition, but we're looking for maximum attractability, and that's what the 40-pound bag gives you. So in the feed legal states, that's the one you want to focus on during season, and that's the one we were really hammering on, and getting those deer out of the brush and into the open so we could get a good look at them. That's where that's where the most smell comes out of the feed with that cherry rush, and just once they get that in their nose, they're coming out to see what's going on. But then we have the Protein Plus, which is more for the off season. Right after the rut, you want to rebuild them. It has the roasted soybeans in there, extra protein, higher concentration of mineral. That's what we're going to be kind of moving into right now, getting those deer through the rest of the winter, rejuvenating them from the rut, and build them back up to grow more antlers.
Now, that one, Joe, is that a 40-pound bag too, the Protein Plus?
No, Protein Plus is a 25-pound bag. And what we've kind of seen what people are doing with that, they'll take, if you're filling a 200-pound feeder, they'll put a couple bags of Fortified in there and then a couple bags of Protein Plus. Just kind of cut it down a little bit.
Perfect.
But that way it's the best of both worlds, tractability and the additional protein.
Gotcha. So we'll dive in a little bit on the Protein Plus for us. I know, like you said, it's a perfect time of year for guys that are trying to manage and get deer kind of jump start, this time of year. So, basically almost like dangerous for them. So give us a little index of what's inside there product-wise, like what kind of protein and crude fat are we looking at, some of the good stuff?
Yeah, on Protein Plus, you're going to have whole corn and cracked corn. The sunflowers and milo, that's really the staple of the base of our blends. And then we add the roasted soybeans. That's going to give you a 16% protein level, which is the maximum a deer can process is 18. Anybody who's throwing just straight 30% protein pellets, you're literally wasting your time. 18 is the max that they can do. So we like to stay right around that, if just a hair under, just to make sure they're processing everything that we're feeding them is getting utilized and it's not running through their system and wasted. So that's why we keep that number where it's at. And then, of course, you got the nitro mineral in there to start building up the bone structure to, if they haven't shed their antlers, they haven't here in Indiana yet, you got to get that bone structure rebuilt. That's going to supercharge them to start growing as soon as they drop.
Gotcha. So what do you suggest, Joe? Like, I know people do it so different, but will that basically just work the best in a feeder versus, like, I know guys just throw it on the ground? I mean, is there a difference in, how should guys properly apply it?
There's a lot of people. Our buddy Blake Garrett, he loves feeding on the ground, especially this time of year. You get you a nice alfalfa bale, throw it out. They're going to eat on the alfalfa. You pour the BigTine into the alfalfa. They're rummaging around. Maybe they'll drop an antler for you. You're giving them the nutrition. Right. You're getting a bonus every time you feed. But typically what we've seen, the more natural way of feeding like that on the ground is the better way. You're going to get more deer coming to it. Now, if you have an established area with a feeder, you're going to be good to go. But that takes some time to get them used to that. And I would suggest a gravity feeder. Just my personal belief, I want the deer to eat as much as they want to eat. With a broadcaster, you're saying, okay, I'm going to spin it for 10 seconds. That's going to drop 2 pounds of feed out. Okay, well, if you have 20 deer come in, they're not getting that much. I want them to eat as much as they want to and come back as much as they want to, rather than me telling them what 2 times a day they can eat, and it's going to be a grain or 2 here or there. So definitely gravity fed if you go the feeder route.
Right.
And, with a feeder, this time of year, I don't know about you guys up there, but, we're getting a ton of rain. We don't just mold on the ground like other feeds. Typically, they're going to eat it before it molds. But, it is a grain product. It can do that. Like I said, most of the time, they're going to eat it up before it does. The feeder is going to protect it from that. It's going to keep it out of the elements. Yeah,
that does help quite a bit for sure. And basically what that feeder does, I mean, you're investing, some money to feed these deer. So it's protection for your feed, and protection for that investment. So, the point is to get that food to the deer, and it's, just sucks if you do, unexpectedly get, 4 days of rain in a row and, it washes out all your feed.
Right. Yeah, we got absolutely hammered the last 4 days with rain down here, and now I think it's going to get to around 5 tonight in Indiana. So yeah, it's a good time. We got skating rinks in our yards. Beautiful thing. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm in southern Michigan, but we just got hammered, Joe. Like, I mean, we got, I don't know, maybe it was only about 4 or 5 inches of snow, but it was so heavy. Like, it was, the moisture content was really high. And I mean, like, per scoop of shovel, I bet you that thing weighed 25, 30 pounds. So it probably easily would have been a foot of snow, you know what I mean? And it's been like, today was 14, and like with the wind chill, it's easily, 0, -4 today. Brutal.
Lovely. Well, you've got a special guest on. Everly woke up from her nap, so.
Oh, exciting.
She didn't last long.
No, man, that didn't, 25 minutes we're in?
Yeah, we're about 25, I think so. So all good. No, she's pretty good at podcasts. She knows how to hang out. She's used to Daddy talking on the phone all the time, so all good.
Yeah, probably. That's true. Well, excited, man. Let's keep it moving then. Why the little girl's, being good for us.
Well, she's happy.
Why she's happy.
Yeah.
But
perfect.
So we got the new product for this year is the BigTine Platinum. So give me a little rundown on that, Joe. I'm kind of excited about that. And I got a really big farm in southern Ohio, and I'm like salivating, ready to get some of my deer fed with this stuff.
This thing has been a long time in the making. A lot of input, a lot of testing has gone into it. With Platinum, excuse me, I'm sorry. She just hit me in the face. Are you excited too? Cool. With Platinum, we're going to have the whole corn, crack corn, sunflowers, and Milo. We kept the roasted soybeans in there, added peanuts, a protein pellet, and our triad Optirumen, which is going to be a pro and prebiotic pack to give them the absolute maximum amount of nutrition that they can absolutely take. With the pro and prebiotics, it's going to improve their gut health, so they're going to digest faster. But more importantly, they're going to absorb more of the nutrients into their bloodstream. So the more they eat, the better they're going to be. And
that's crazy.
The peanuts, deer just love peanuts anyway.
Yeah,
but, that helps with vitamin E. It's going to up the fat content. It's going to up protein content. It's just an all-around solid feed. And with what we've seen, they're literally just destroying any feed site that it's going out on. I mean, just gorging themselves. So very, very happy. Because at the end of the day, we can have the best feed out there. If the deer don't like the taste of it, they're not going to eat it, and we're out of the job.
Right,
so
true.
We want to give them everything that we can, make them as healthy as they can. Hopefully that means bigger racks, and they keep on coming to it. So everybody's happy.
So on a product like that, Joe, you got a lot of stuff in the Platinum. What makes them kind of key into that taste? Like what part of it?
Well, as with all of our feed products, you've still got the cherry rush flavoring in there.
Okay, I was going to.
So, if your deer are used to Protein Plus or the Fortified Deer Blend, it's going to be an easy switch over. So you're going to give them more nutrition than ever before, and they're still eating it because they're used to what you've been feeding them all these years.
That's awesome.
And we had a lot of input from a lot of people. Blake was one of our big contributors on that, and can't thank him enough for what he's done for us. I mean, it's a great partnership that we have with Blake, and he's pretty pumped about it, and I know he's excited with the results that he's seen already. So it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I know, like, me and Blake are good buddies, and we talk a lot about deer feeding. Actually, we've done a lot of podcasts about it and his program, and then offline as well. We've talked quite a bit. And, I mean, I've literally been, and this is no joke, Joe, and Blake's probably sent you the pictures, but I've literally have been talking to Blake while he's in a car, just put out feed, and, like, deer are on it before he pulls away, and he'll send me a picture while he's talking to me. I mean, it's insane. Yep. Like, the Platinum has done, like, just crazy things. Like, they just, I mean, we say that deer, slaves to their stomach. Like, this product kind of, like, times that by 10.
Yeah, he's done the videos and the TikToks and all of that. He literally just puts the truck in the park after season when he's going out trying to, keep them going, and they're just pouring out of the woodwork to the feed site. And we've joked for 2 years. Someday it will happen. I'm going to let him just cover me up in BigTine to get some footage of a deer eating off the pile. And I'll just be covered in BigTine and see how it goes. I mean, I'll take one for the team. We'll make it happen someday.
That's hilarious. Joe, what's all this extra peanut butter for? I can see it now.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I love peanut butter. Don't worry about it. Just keep rolling, man.
But but it's so true, man. Blake has done that and put out a lot of TikToks and but literally, I mean, like, it's no joke. It's not staged, and it's like I've literally, been on the phone with the dude while the deer just pour in. So it's crazy.
And he never gets, the best part about Blake, he never gets used to it. Like, he is so excited to see deer eating. And not just eating, but deer thriving and being healthy and everything that he puts into his program. He's always so passionate and excited about his plan working. And it's so cool to work with him because of that. And, we'll bounce off crazy ideas, and maybe they'll work, maybe they won't, but he never loses that excitement when something goes right. You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're right. I mean, he talks about it like that. I mean, from our first conversation to our, 150, he still talks like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
Always there. And please don't tell him I'm bragging on him this much, because he just, you know how he is.
Yep. Exactly. He'll be like, "Did you hear what Joe said about me?" He'll be texting me later.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely guaranteed.
That's right. But, so with that and the Platinum, Joe, when is it basically going to be everywhere, and what size bags are we looking at for that? Is there more than one option, or?
No, that's going to be a 30-pound bag. Right off the bat, we're offering 30 pounds. We will have it available in 1,000 and 2,000-pound totes for the guys that are, the bulk feeders and everything.
Right.
Sometimes it's just easier for them to just fill the whole thing up at once. If they have the capability to, lift it up and fill it that way, sometimes that's the best route. So it will be available in bulk too. But that'll come 60 to a pallet if you want to buy by the pallet in the individual bags.
Okay. 60 by the pallet. Okay. That's perfect. So, and then I would assume, like, where I see, BigTine everywhere up here, it would potentially be in stores, like, very soon, I'm taking it.
Yeah, we're going to start shipping. Actually, they started making Platinum this weekend, today. So very appropriate that we're talking today. So it will be, and we've already got orders in. So it's going to start showing up at stores anywhere you can buy BigTine. At the individual stores, we haven't got into all the big box stores yet. We're still working on quite a few of those. We've got some acknowledgments from some of the big guys that they will be putting it in. Might take a little bit. It doesn't happen overnight, but here the next couple months you'll see it everywhere.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I think there's one more product I definitely want to talk about, Joe, and that's the Borderline, which another really cool product that I was excited about because there's just so many options for it, and we talk about access is key so many times when we talk deer hunting, and this is one of those products that legitimately does that for you. So give me and the listeners a rundown on what Borderline is so they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. On Borderline, it's another one we've been developing for a couple of years now, and it's not just, I'm not going to say it's not good enough to plant a food plot, but people want to do more than just throw some clover out and watch it grow. Now everyone's wanting to, like you said, maneuver in for entrance, exit, but also manipulate how those deer utilize their food plots. And you can do that with, food plot barriers and walls that you're growing. And Borderline can be used as a funnel, a bedding mix.
Yep.
Yeah, screening, however you want to say it. What we were most surprised about, any screening mix that you plant as far as an annual goes typically starts breaking down this time of year. But we've got a ton of deer. Literally all the deer on our test farm are now bedding in areas where we planted the Borderline. So it's doubling as a bedding area as well. So areas where you're not, a lot of times it's just like 10 feet wide for a screening or funnel. But if you have an area that you want to kind of just focus on, like, I want them to bed here, go a little bit wider, and they're going to start bedding in it. And great for the turkeys, too. The turkeys are loving it.
Absolutely. Man, that's amazing thought, Joe. Like, you could literally do a 1-acre section somewhere and just create one of the best bedding habitats probably you've ever seen.
100%. Yeah. Yep. And with, there's also, in this blend, there's plenty for them to forage on as well. There's sorghums in there, sun hemp. They will actually eat on sun hemp when it's young, and the more they eat on it, the more it bushes out, so the thicker it'll be. So it's actually a double whammy when it comes to that. And when it bushes out, man, you're not seeing through it at all.
Right. Yeah, it gets really
It's
thick.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
So height-wise, what are we looking at? That, like, it easily, to me, looks like it gets up to 8 to 10 feet. But
you're actually looking 10 to 12.
10 to 12,
Yep.
wow.
And depending, maybe up in Michigan, you might be looking more like 8 to 10 because of the growing season. Because the key to borderline is, we always have our planting charts and everything on the back of the bag to tell you when to plant. The key for borderline, as soon as your soil temperature hits 60 degrees, get it in the ground. So that the longer it has to grow, the taller it's going to get. I mean, pretty self-explanatory, but, it takes a while to get it established and going. But once it takes off, you will not be disappointed.
Absolutely. Now, Joe, in your experience, how has it held up over the year? Like, first, let me back up. When's the right time for us to plant this? And from the beginning to the end of the season, how have you seen it actually hold up? Are they snapping over, or is there anything, that, we as a user can do to keep it healthy?
Yeah. It's really going to come down to when you get your first frost, because that's when it's going to start becoming brittle and everything. I've actually got borderline planted behind my house between me and my neighbor for reasons that are pretty obvious. But it's lining between my big foundation clover field and his property line. I've got borderline in between. It really didn't break down and snap off hard on me until mid-December. I mean, it's going to start yellowing up and everything, but it held up really, really nice. And it definitely did its job. And now I've noticed past couple of weeks, the turkeys are starting to move around a little bit more, and they're starting to kind of forage around in there and everything too. But you can definitely see where the funnels are, where the deer are moving between us and everything. But, yeah, I mean, you're looking at early to mid-December.
No, that's
so, basically get you through that rut.
Yeah, that holds up well then. I mean, because
yeah.
As we know, like October and November, man, the weather changes a lot and it gets drastic sometimes with that wind pressure and, get those windy days and, just the moisture and then it dries up and could freeze. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So,
we've also got Egyptian wheat in there. A lot of guys just want to plant Egyptian wheat. It's not real hardy. If you don't have something underneath of it to keep it stable, it's just going to snap off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it just blows right over. That's why we added the sun hemp and the sorghums to kind of create a base for it and a foundation to keep that up. So even if the top starts snapping off, you've still got, 5-6 feet that are still standing. That's plenty for a deer.
Right. Yeah, for sure. They would easily bed in that. That's plenty tall enough.
Yep.
Yeah,
easily.
For sure. Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. So I know, obviously, Joe, like we kind of talked about, there's no ATA this year. So is there, sometimes this happens, but is there any other products that might pop up between now and, let's say, planting season or anything like that?
Nothing's going to pop up this year. We're always working on new stuff for next year. But, no, we won't have any surprises mid-season or anything like that this year. We do have some new team members coming on. That's pretty exciting, but I can't talk about that just yet. Okay. But we're always doing our specials on social media and everything. Those will be announced and popping up from here and there. And we might be making fun of our president or Bernie Sanders or something on there. So follow me on BigTine because nobody's safe. we educate and entertain. That's the goal.
That's for sure, man. For sure. Well, I'll let you get back to hanging out with the girl, man, but thanks for the awesome deer hunting story and excited to get these new products and, test them out and see them. And I got, like I said, man, just an awesome spot in Southern Ohio that I can't wait to, baiting's legal there. But
oh yeah,
not so much baiting, but just the feed program, being able to do that, man. I'm super excited to use these, and it's going to be awesome. So, but
for sure, man. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, thanks again. And when we get a chance, hopefully at Iowa, maybe we'll hook up. We'll do another one of these, and then we'll go out and have us a couple beers like we planned.
Hell yeah, I'll see you in a month.
Yeah, that's right, for sure. So, Joe, let everybody know. I know Instagram, BigTine, but, the rest of them, just throw it out there.
Yep, Instagram's BigTine Official. TikTok, we do have a TikTok, thanks to Blake Garrett. He made me do it. It's also BigTine Official. And on Facebook, we're just right at BigTine.
Perfect. So
easy enough. Website, www.bigtine.com. The full catalog is on there right now.
Yeah, and there's plenty of products and plenty, Joe. I mean, I don't even know how many we didn't talk about, but they all are there on the website. So, make sure to check that out as well.
We're going to need a lot longer nap for the kid to be able to talk about all of them.
Yeah, we would for sure.
For sure.
We'll plan the next nap time, Joe, though. We'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll get some Dimetap or something. Do they still make Dimetap? That's what my mom used to use on me.
I don't know. We'll check, though. That'll put you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but boys and girls, as you know, every week you can find us on iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, so on and so on. But thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks.